here's your stick of health. Mami. Hi, mami, beautiful.
Buenos días, amigos de usted querido. Pues aquí platicando con ustedes y tomando mi café y con mi panito. Y pues pues el pan dicen pues que uno no lo coma tanto porque engorda, pero pues en la mañana no hace daño. Porque va a estar haciendo alguna cosa, caminando, yo qué sé, lo malo es, decía mi madre, almuerza mucho, come más, cena poquito y vivirás. Y todo el tiempo estaban en buen estado las señoras y duraban más años. Pero a ver, ahora se pone uno muy gordo y ya al rato no puede caminar. ¿Por qué? Porque está ataque y ataque y que fresh y que acá y que allá.
¿Cómo?
No tiene nada de azúcar ni café. Pues sí, poquito de la morena, por favor.
Sí, mamá.
Si me traes el pomito que te dije, ahí está.
Sí, mamá.
Ahí está por un lado del jugo de limón.
Lo cubrí bien, ¿no? Para que, yeah, see, maybe I'll give you a couple ounces with the wheat at least or something. A couple hours.
I offered for free first. He kept insisting, so ya mejor ni le dije nada. I thought, you know,
Just likes to tell work. He's a perfectionist.
yeah, he's a professional.
But
I think that's why he didn't want me to do it, because he figured that, you know what I mean? ¿Es esta, ma?
No, acá está un lado de limón en un pomito ahí.
¿Qué? Oh, sí, aquí está.
Pobretón, ahí está.
maestro, pásale.
Buenos días.
Buenos días.
¿Cómo amanecieron?
Pues aquí desayunando,
Qué bueno.
me invitan
Lupe.
a desayunar.
Oh, qué bueno, qué bueno.
¿Quiere una fotita, ma?
Está bien, gracias.
¿No es maestro?
¿Cómo está, José?
Muy bien, ¿y usted?
Aquí llegando. Llegando.
Yeah, he said yes.
¿Gustan un café, don Ismael?
Ah, yo creo que no hay tiempo. Es muy tarde.
O sea, regular plumber o Oliveros, la sabe un kilo de dinero eso.
When they moved his house because of the city,
Yeah.
that's why his house was all run down.
Yeah.
They
Put a new foundation.
They moved his house back, foundation, they lifted it, so steps. He had so much money left over, like 180 grand left over. Todavía, they lifted it, put new foundation, they moved it over. Y todavía he had money to do new stucco, new roofing, new paint. He did it the whole.
Yeah, we did the whole thing.
Yeah, y todavía le sobró dinero. And plus, when he sells it, because when he bought it like years ago, cuando estaba bien barata, all that remodeling that
That's
is so
from his
different.
parents. That's what his parents owned that house.
One of the houses worth so
No,
much.
his parents built that house.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sí, está bien.
That's why he's there. Morning, everybody. How's it going? Dice, I
Vamos a
thought
ver
it
cómo está el
was
chatillo.
you.
Ándele, sí.
Talking
Sí, se
about-
nos va a hacer.
Oh, really thought it was me? Oh, it was my brother Eric. He was, we sound alike. And
¿Ahorita quiere camarón o regular, ma?
I cooked
Camarón?
my mom some sugar for her little coffee. Good morning, everybody. How's it going? Who's all here today? Smoking kettle? How you doing, smoking kettle? Okay, Kid says, saludos desde Chevinda, Michoacán.
Chavinda,
Sí.
donde nació mi abuelito y se lo llevaron para Janamuato, Puruándiro, chiquito de meses, pero todavía hay familia, yo creo, allá, mucha.
Mhm.
No sé por qué razón la mamá huyó con el bebé
Mhm.
y no sé qué, son macieles,
Oh, wow.
maciel.
Ok, dice aquí, saludos a la jefita Profecho. ¿Cuál es la jefita, mamá?
La jefita del pan.
La jefita del pan y el café.
Está bien,
Gracias.
bueno.
Gracias, Palm Tree. I don't know what your name is, but thank you so much. Thanks for the gifts. Flores dice, buenos días, bonita familia. Gracias, Flores. Muchas gracias. Saludos para usted. Y pues nos vamos a echar un cafecito aquí con pan. And then I'm gonna be going.
That's good.
I'm gonna be going to work in a little while. Okay. Yesterday I was I was driving with my brother. We got stuck in traffic for hours. There was a big 5-car pileup on Highway 101. All the roads were closed. It was gridlock. We were stuck in traffic for hours, and we went around through. We were gonna go through Greenville, and our luck, they closed the bridges over there. So we drove like an hour through the hills, you know, trying to go through the cuts and come back around Greenville, and they closed the bridge. So all the cars had to turn around. Oh my God, it was terrible yesterday, you guys. Terrible, terrible traffic. Give says, saludos para los panaderos. También es trabajo duro. Sí, claro que sí. Todo el trabajo es duro. Todo el trabajo es bueno. You know, y
Hasta
sí.
estar sentado todo el día es duro, pobre
Sí.
Puste.
Pues los que van manejando de choferes, los traileros,
También.
aunque van sentados allí, pero también duele el culo. Ya después, no creo que no. Sorry, mom. Duele pues el rabo. ¿El rabo?
Sí, el Puste o el ramo.
El fuste y el rabo. Ok. Ok, dice aquí, Albóndigas, dice, buenos días, es viernes y las tías lo saben, saludos, sí, un saludo para todas las tías, mamacitas, tías. Oh yeah, you guys, so anyway, sí, hoy es viernes, dice, you're so funny, I love you. Oh, thank you, Gypsy, right, Gypsy Rose, that's a beautiful name, Gypsy Rose. McChicken7 is the famous helmet guy. Hey, speaking of that, I'm gonna go change my helmet today. I'm gonna put on my other one. Thank you for reminding me, McChicken7. I'm gonna go change my hard hat.
Ahora sí tráeme el botecito ese. Bueno,
Sí, mamá.
Ah,
Today, I'm gonna wear this one. I haven't worn this one in a while. Today, I'm gonna wear this one. Thank you very much, McChicken, for reminding me. Ok, dice aquí José, dice, yo soy trailero y todos me dicen que es trabajo fácil, que puro sentado. Y sí, pero tú sabes que no es fácil, tú sabes que no es fácil. La gente piensa que es fácil, pero no. Ya cuando lo calan ellos van a decir que no, pues no, yo pensaba que era fácil, pero no lo es. Todos los trabajos son duros, ok. Y todos hacemos diferentes clases de trabajo. If we all did the same thing,
hasta los de la oficina ahí se cansan todo el día estar escribe y sentados.
So, un saludo ahí para todos los traileros, especialmente aquí para mi tocayo José. Ese, órale, vato.
Y también para Adolfo, mi sobrino, y para Tachín, son traileros ellos.
Aquí dice Güero 98, dice, buenos días tío, what are the plans for today? Today I'm going to be going to Kaiserville, and I'm going to be continuing to do some framing work for some concrete patios that we're going to be doing. And then tomorrow I'm going to be taking you guys fishing, okay? Tomorrow I'm going fishing, you guys. José dice, es mucho trabajo mental, tienes que andar al 100. Oh sí, los traileros no pueden andar ahí que una cervecita para el break y que un gallillo y que eso, nada de eso, porque también los chequean para estar seguro que van manejando bien. Y luego pues también es mucha responsabilidad, se te cae la carga o se atraviesa un carro, lo que sea, y pues un trailer hace un desmadre en medio. Ayer chocaron, it was like a 5-car pileup on Highway 101, that's why they closed the freeways yesterday. Estaba gacho la cosa. Y nosotros no alcanzamos a ver porque estaba todo el gridlock, estaba todo laqueado. Hasta los carros que venían de ahí dicen, no, dale una vuelta, porque no hay pase. Okay, good morning over here on YouTube. Dice aquí, ¿qué onda OG? OG. Hey, thanks. Gracias. That's from Frenchy, the best guerrero. Guerrero, ¿verdad? Okay. Remember me? Says Frankie Laiva. All right, how you doing, Frankie? Y luego dice, saludos a la mamá, very blessing. Thank you very much, appreciate that. All right, y dice, good morning,
¿Está la cosa,
and
Lupe?
God bless your beautiful mother. Thank you very much. God bless my beautiful mother. Thank you.
¿Qué
That's
tal?
from
¿Cómo le ha ido? ¿Todo
Fredo.
bien?
Okay. Y luego, I'm a truck driver. I drive 11 hours a day in drive through all
Qué bueno.
different types of weather, says J773.
Bueno.
All right, well, you stay alert, man. You stay alert. And 11 hours of driving is not an easy thing. Okay, so right on to all you drivers out there. Un saludo por todos los traileros. También el trailero más dice que él maneja 11 horas diarias para arriba y para abajo, para acá y para allá.
Ustedes no saben de uno quién saca diente aquí, de un dentista.
Está uno aquí en el shopping center de allí.
¿Sí?
Sí, pero yo nunca he ido allí, pues, pero aquí está allí es dentista, aquí en donde vivo yo.
Por lo tal.
Enfrente de la
hotel.
panda del pandita.
Ahí enfrente del CVS,
Ajá.
allí es dentista.
¿Cobran cuánto cobraría? La
No sé.
caro esa madre, ¿no?
Pues, pero si te duele, tú está...
No, si ya fui a averiguar.
All right. Thank you very much, everybody. Today I'm going to tell you a story. You guys want to hear a story?
Cobran más.
¿Verdad?
Some of you guys are always asking me to tell you a story. Today I got a good story
Me iba a
for you
cobrar
if you want to hear it.
1500 solo por rellenarlo, pero yo no quise
Como está la gasolinera para adentro y está un restaurante que se llama Panda y ahí está enfrente. Y habla español y todo.
Mhm.
Y el dentista le da mucha atención a uno.
Yo te pago por unas pizzas si quieres.
Mira pues.
¿Me da maestro?
No, si yo solo me les he sacado acá, nomás que este cabrón no se
Ah,
sabe
sí.
nada.
Sí, mamá. Buenos días, carnal, says Eastside Loc. What's up, Eastside Loc? How you doing? Good morning to you. All right, so I'm going to tell you a story today, all right? I got about
La salsita está
about
allá.
an hour to tell you.
Erito.
It's a long story. It's a
Con
true
tu mano
story.
izquierda ahí.
And I hope you like it. Here we go.
Ahí está la salsita.
Sí, ya lo vi.
Sí.
So, good morning from San Antonio. These are roses. Deal. So I did it. This is for those of you that que tienen trabajadores, that have workers, for those of you that hire people, for those of you that are contractors and stuff. I'm gonna tell you a true story about some of my workers, okay, that I've had. I'm not gonna say their names because I don't want to burn them, but they'll know who they are. Okay, we have this. There's one man that has been working for us with our family for I don't know, like 25 years at least. Okay, he's an old man now. He's retired now. Very good man. I'm just gonna call him Don R. Okay, Don R. So Don R, very good guy, very good worker. He's a great albañil, and he worked with me for many years. Okay, many years. And you know, he's always one of those guys que siempre estaba listo para el trabajo. Nunca andaba renegando. Nunca me quedaba mal. Siempre es buen trabajador ese señor. Don R, le vamos a decir para que no sepa la gente quién es. So, Don R, como le digo, es un buen trabajador, ¿verdad? Sabe lo que está haciendo, tiene mucha experiencia el Don. He's a very good worker. But he's got two sons. Okay?
Ya le puso Don Eric.
No, a él no.
Oh.
He's got two sons y tiene dos hijos, ¿verdad? Y sus hijos de él, cuando trabajaban con nosotros, uno es bien huevón, okay? Uno es bien huevón. One of them is really lazy. The other one, yeah, he's not lazy, but he's like mean. He's like grumpy all the time, okay? Okay.
Es Don Guarachi, hijo.
Sí, es Don Guarache.
Tracalero, sí.
Okay, a mi mamá los conoce aquí para que that way you guys see them online, okay?
Don Guarachi bien tracalero.
Pero si puedes más, no hay que contar la historia. Estoy contando otra historia. No, tracalero. Entonces, he's got two sons, right? He's got two sons. One of them, oh my God, this vato le dicen el abogado del diablo because he's really good at talking. Really good. He's like a lawyer, you know, really good at talk. Okay? And he's always trying to get money from you. He's always trying to borrow money from you. And like if you meet him today, by the end of the day, he's going to be asking you to let him borrow some money. All right? So this vato, these vatos, one time we were doing a job up in Cloverdale, right? We were doing a job up in Cloverdale, and we were all just about to finish the job, and we got this other huge job in Stinson Beach, right? So then I talked to my dad, and I told my dad, you know, Dad, we should start that other job. We should leave Don R's kids, his sons, we should leave them here so they can finish up the job.
Sí, Don Guarache. Yo no Don Guarache.
Don Guarache, pues le vamos a decir Don Guarache. Y a los hijos de él le vamos a decir los choclitos. Okay. Y esto es verdad, because okay, my brother Eric, he's right here, my dad's right here, okay, so they know this is a true story. So then, Don Guarache, we took him to the Stinson Beach job, okay? And his sons, los choclitos, los dejamos allí en un trabajo in Cloverdale, para que lo terminaran ellos. Okay, so nosotros íbamos por Don Guarache, en la mañanita a su casa, we'd go pick him up early in the morning to his house, right? And Don Robert, él siempre estaba listo. He's not the kind of person that you have to be waiting for. He's very responsible. Okay, but his sons, los choclitos, todos son bien huevones y mañosos y tracaleros. Okay, y si se ofenden, pues ni modo, es la neta. It's the truth. So these vatos, we would go pick up Don Robert at his house. You know, he'd be ready. And we'd pick him up. And then his sons, los choclitos, then from the window, they'd be like, Buenos días, Chepe. ¿Cómo estás? Bien. ¿Ya se van a trabajar? Sí, ya nos vamos. And you could tell that because their bed was right there on the window, right? This vato, you could still tell he's still, you know, got no clothes on. He's still in bed, saying hello to us in the morning. And he's supposed to go work for us at that other job, right? So then we'd take his dad with us to Stinson Beach, and it would take like an hour and a half to get from Santa Rosa to Stinson Beach job. Okay? And that job in Cloverdale, it would take an hour and a half also, because I knew this because I drove to both jobs, so I know exactly how much time it would take, right? So when we would pick up Don Guarache at his house, he was ready, and we'd drive, and his sons would still be in bed. Okay, his sons would still be in bed. So then we'd go and work all the way to Stinson Beach and drive up there. We'd work for 8 hours. And then when we come back, we would drop off Don Guarache at his house otra vez. And his sons would be home already. They'd be home already. They'd be nice and dressed, bien guapos, ready to go party, right? Y ya bien limpiecitos. Y nosotros acabamos de llegar a trabajar. Ellos ya estaban listos para ir a party, right? So we're like, all right. So this went on for like 2 weeks, okay? Y luego el día de paga, luego allí sacaban sus horitas, you know, el little papelito ahí. Okay, José, pues mira, pues aquí está la lista, mira. Trabajamos 45 horas de lunes a viernes, 45 horas, aquí están. So I'd be like, all right, Simón, pues, you know, I'd pay them, pum, aquí está su dinero. Okay, fine. Y nosotros trabajamos 40 horas, okay? So, then, para que vean cómo es de tracalera la gente. So then one day, I get a call, because in those days, cellular phones, they were brand new, you know what I mean? Estaban bien caros, cellular phones were very expensive, but I was the boss, so I had a cell phone, okay? Not that many people had cell phones, but I had one. I get a call up in Stinson Beach, somehow, and el cliente, she's telling me, hey, Jose, we have a problem here. And I'm like, well, what's going on? What's the problem? And the client says, you know what? Los choclitos, they are demanding that I pay them all this extra money. They say that they work these hours, and they want me to pay them. And you know what, Jose? There's something wrong here, because they show up and we write down when they get here. They get here at 10 a.m. and they leave at 2 or 3 o'clock, and they're saying that they worked 8 hours, and they're demanding money. They put a lawsuit. Against me. And so, you know, there's something there. You gotta come and fix this, Jose. This is your responsibility. And I'm like, oh shit. Okay, so I told my dad, you know, I told my dad what was going on. ¿Sabe qué? Pues hay problemas acá. Los choclitos están allá peleando con el patrón. Y yo tengo que ir a arreglar qué está pasando. Me voy a llevar a Don Guarache para que hable con ellos él, porque él es el papá de ellos, ¿no? So dijo, mi papá, sí, está bien, hijo, ve, arregla eso. So me llevé a Don Guarache. We flew from Stinson Beach boom, you know, we were driving for hours all the way to all the way to Cloverdale, right? So I show up to the job site, and el patron, the homeowner, he's walking around in front of his property because they had a gate. He's walking around there with a big gun. Trae un pistolón ahí bien nuevecito, la pistola, trae una pistolona ahí fajada, and he was walking back and forth ahí enfrente. And I said, hello sir, how's it going? Well, it's not going, it's going good, Jose. These guys are trying to rip us off, and now they gotta complain at the state. They have a lawsuit against us. What the hell is going on? Blah, blah, blah. You're responsible. This and all that, right? And I told him, yes, sir. Well, that's why I'm here. I'm here to fix this. Can I talk to you about that? Let's go inside and talk to your wife and see what's going on. And he told me, yeah, you could come in, but these M fuckers, they are not coming in. And I told him, it's okay, sir. They can wait out here. I'm gonna, their dad here is here with me. We're gonna talk to you about it and see what's going on. So, all right, well, come in, but they can come in. And traía el pistolón ahí, right? And so we went inside. His wife, myself, el patrón, and Don Robert, Don Guarache. And Don Guarache, we were talking there, right? And the lady, she's all telling me, look, Jose, I don't know what's going on here, but these guys, they show up at 10 a.m., and they're leaving at 2 o'clock, and they're telling us that they're working 8 hours. We are not stupid. We write down their hours. When they drive in, we write it down. When they leave, we write it down. It's impossible for them to be working 8 hours, Jose. I'm not going to be paying that. No matter what. So you need to take care of this. Tú tienes que arreglar esto. Y le dije, yes, sir, I will take care of that. So the lady said, look, these are their actual hours. We write them down when they come in. And I told Don Guarache that. I told him, mire, Don Guarache, sus hijos dicen que están trabajando 8 horas. Y mire, la patrona y el patrón, ellos apuntan aquí. Cuando ellos entran y cuando salen, mire, es imposible que hayan trabajado las 8 horas, ¿ok? Y ellos tienen una demanda con la patrona aquí y los están echando un complaint. My favorite to Jose, thank you, Jose. Love the stories of us. I'm listening. Okay, cool. So these vatos, right? They're claiming that they were working 8 hours, okay? And that the clients, they were writing down their hours when these guys were driving in and then driving out. And also the reason why, and I know these vatos are tracaleros, okay? I know them for many years. So these vatos would, like I said, when we pick up their dad, they're still in bed, okay? And then when we would drop off their dad in the evening, they were already dressed up, showered, ready to go party. So it was impossible for them to be working those many hours because it took the same amount of time to drive to both jobs. I knew this. So and this was an everyday thing. So I told their dad, I told him, mire, Don Roberto, usted necesita arreglar esto. Usted necesita arreglar esto porque cómo va a estar que le estén suing the clients. And Don Roberto, he talked to them, and these guys, they're tracaleros, pues, they're rip-offs, right? So then I told the Robert, look, yo les voy a pagar su dinero, las horas que dijo el patrón que ellos hicieron, pero que quiten esa demanda, because they were suing the clients, right? And so they're like, hell no, we're not gonna do it, blah, 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 okay? So then my dad and I, we decided, look, let's just pay these guys. Let's just pay them so they don't sue the client. It's making us look bad. Let's just pay them and get it over with. So we decided to do that. Dice mi papá, hay que pagarles el dinero ese mejor y ya nos los quitamos de encima y porque no queremos problemas con el patrón. So we did. My dad and I, out of our pocket, we paid them all their 40 hours or whatever it was that week. And so we paid them that money. They took off the lawsuit because they were suing the client. They weren't suing me, and that's gacho, right? Because I'm supposed to be their boss. I'm the one that's paying them, and these pendejos decided to to do a lawsuit against the clients, the homeowners. So they went around me, okay? Fueron alrededor de mi espalda. So these vatos did all that. I paid them their money, and and my dad and I, we decided not to give them work anymore, okay? We laid them off, and they, go do whatever. We laid them off, we paid them their money, but their dad kept working with us for many, many years, okay? That guy's hella cool, hella cool. So the years went by, right? Years went by. These guys would always ask me for, hey, Jose, no chamba, que esto, que el otro. No, pues ahorita no, y que ahorita no. But I didn't want to give them work because they're ripoffs, right? And so the years went by, and then we did a job here in Santa Rosa for a fire. This is where the story gets good, so pay attention. We did a job for this fireman, okay? His name is John. Very cool dude, okay? John is like 6'6". Okay, he's a very tall guy. He's like this tall to me, so I would always be talking to him like this. Hi, John, sir, blah, 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 blah. Okay, very big, tall, big dude. Okay, he's a fireman. So we did a job for him, and I needed a chalan. I needed a chalan, right, to help us dig and stuff, and make mortar for us and stuff like that. And me and Don Robert were working there, and I told them, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go get us a laborer from allá de la parada. Yo voy por un peón para que nos haga mezcla y nos traiga piedra y eso, ¿verdad? And so,
later on, they'll make for us another day.
I'm telling them about the biker story.
Oh, tell them the biker story. Go ahead and see.
Yeah, that's the story I'm telling them right now. So then I told their dad, right? I told them, I told him, hey, voy por un peón allí en la parada, Don, ahorita vengo. And Don Guarache told me, hey, Jose, why don't you go get my son, Chopito, why don't you go get him? He's just got here from Mexico again, and no tiene trabajo, y dale trabajo, hombre, y tráetelo para que nos ayude.
Y estaba levantando una piedrota grandota y una bien grandota y dice, entra mi hijo, él sí está fuerte, y adelante de él.
I know, right? So then I didn't want to hire that guy because como te digo, pues son tracaleros, they're dishonest. So I didn't want to hire him, right? But it had been years already, and these guys did this to us several times. So I'm not, that's why I know, and I'm being honest when I'm telling you que son tracaleros, okay? Porque nos la hicieron varias veces. So anyways, I told him, okay, Don R, I'm gonna go get your son, pues, Don Robert said, no está trabajando, acaba de llegar de México y pues no tiene dinero, and dale trabajo. So yo lo hice por el Don, for their dad. I did it because of him. So I'm like, oh, okay, fine. So I go to their house, right? He's like, just go to the house, knock on the door, and tell them that I said to come and work with us. So I'm like, all right, fine. So I go to their house, right? Fui a su casa de él, me dijo su papá, vete, dile que yo dije que viniera a ayudarnos, right? So I did. I go and I knock on the door. It took him a while to open, right? He comes out, and he's still wearing flip-flops, Todavía trae de esas pantulchichas, esas de las little flip-flops on the, bed slippers. And he's all, Chepe, ¿cómo te va? And I'm like, pues a mí bien, ¿y a ti? Pues bien, ¿qué onda? Le digo, pues no sé, pero dijo tu papá que viniera por ti. Yo iba a traer un peón allá de la parada, pero dijo tu papá que tú necesitabas trabajo y que te dijera que vinieras a trabajar. And then he's still, está bien. Ahorita salgo. Alright, so I'm like, okay, aquí te espero afuera. This is already like 9, 10 a.m. Hey, ya eran como las 9 y las 10. Un hombre trabajador ya a las 9. ¿Tú crees que va a andar ahí todavía con sus huevonadas? Ya tienen que estar listos para buscar la chamba. Este cabrón estaba buscando trabajo, pidiéndole a Dios que no encontrara ahí en la cama. So I'm like, okay, está bien. I waited for him out there, right? I waited for him for like 30, 40 minutes. I'm thinking to myself, oh God, not again, right? So anyway, ya salió, ya como de mal ganas, ya llegó allí a la troca. Y ya que nos vamos, me lo llevé a trabajar. I took him to work. And once we got to the job site, I told him, look, pues aquí, nomás tengo trabajo de chalán. Yo por eso iba a agarrar a alguien a la parada, pero dijo tu papá que te trajera a ti. Because these vatos no creas, son aparte de huevones, son tracaleros and, you know, lazy fuckers, right? So anyways, le dije, mira tú, haznos mezcla y tráenos piedra y yo y tu papá los vamos a pegar. So, está bien, chapu. Yeah, you know, he would make the mud for us and bring us stone, you know, here, this and that. Anyways, to make the story short, we were working, you know, we'd be working there for like a week already, okay? And he was doing all right, you know, because esos vatos, si está su papá de ellos, sí trabajan. Pero si no está su papá de ellos, no trabajan, nomás se hacen maña, pura maña, okay? Pero cuando está su papá, they're like little kids. I'm not kidding, son como unos niños chiquitos. Si no está su papá allí, nomás se hacen pendejos, no trabajan, okay? Yo los conozco bien. Y si me están escuchando, pues, ¿qué tienen? No me importa. Pero de todos modos, ellos saben que sí son bien huevones. So anyways, if their dad's around, they work. But if their dad's not around, they do, ¿cómo se dice? They lag, okay. So anyways, we were working there for about a week. Everything was fine, okay? Then 2 weeks went by, everything was fine. On the third week, okay, one of the choclitos, the other one, el abogado del diablo, this is what happened, okay? I get a call from my client, John, the fireman, the client, okay? The big, tall man like this. He's very tall, big dude. You know, he was telling me that he was a fireman. He's retired now and all this and all that, right? So, well, that's great. Very cool, dude. So anyways, he calls me up one day and he tells me, Jose, I don't know what's going on here, man. We need to have very serious talk. You know, I've been paying you every week and I'm having problems with Don Robert. His son called me, told me that you haven't been paying him. What the hell is going on here, Jose? We need to talk about this right now. And I'm thinking, what? So anyways, I drive to his house, right? I drive to his house, and then he tells me, okay, look, Martin, the Robert's son, he's got a complaint down at the city saying that his dad hasn't been getting paid. He's got a list of money that's missing from his dad's pay, and I want to know what's going on here, Jose. I've been paying you every single week, and you're supposed to be taking care of this. So what is going on here? And I told him, look, sir, I see what you mean, but honestly, I've been paying Don Robert every single week, just like you've been paying me. I've been paying him. Well, I don't know what's going on here, Jose, but I'm getting sued because it says here that Don Robert hasn't been getting paid his money. So I need you to fix it. And I told him, look, sir, I'm gonna be honest with you, okay? I'm gonna be honest with you. And this is a true story. I told him, I'm gonna be honest with you. Look, what's going on here is that Don Robert's sons, they take his money. Every time I pay him, like if I pay him every Friday, tomorrow morning, on Saturday, he won't have any money anymore because his sons take his money away. And they're scamming him, you know. I know this for a fact because I've known these guys for many years. And the client didn't believe me. He thought I was full of crap, okay? And so my brother Lil, he's also a contractor. He passed that job to me, right? Aztec Masonry. He passed that job to me because he was too busy to take on that job. So I took on that job, okay? Reynoso Stoneworks. And then my brother Eric, Rockstar Masonry, he also helped me on that job. He was helping me, do some concrete work. My brother's a badass worker, okay? So John, the homeowner, called both Eligio and my brother Eric, two different contractors, okay? He told them what was going on with the situation. He told them that I was ripping off Don Robert, not paying him his money, and that his sons were very concerned, and all this and all that, right? And my brothers told John, that's the same thing I was telling him. Look, sir, honestly, his sons are taking his money away. Jose always pays him. We know this for a fact because they've done this to us before, sir. You know, and his sons are rip-offs. They take his dad's money, and then they've done this to us before. They'll go to the city and put a lawsuit on the clients. So that's a lot of reasons. That's why we never hired them. Jose brought them to work here, and you know, after they made a little bit of money, they left. So that's why Eric went to go help me instead of his other son, because his other son didn't come back. He got a little bit of money, he never came back. So I needed a worker, a chalan and stuff to mix a bunch of concrete and all that. And my brother Eric, he's a contractor, but he's not lazy. He's not lazy. He's like, hey, I'll help you, carnal. I'll be your chalan. I'll mix all that for you if you want. And I'm like, well, carnal, this is chalan work. I don't want to, no, don't worry about it, man. I'll help you. So I'm like, órale, Simón, let's go. So my brother took over that other vato's job, right? And the other reason why the other guy left is because being a chalan, mixing concrete and stuff is not easy, okay? But my brother Eric, he's not lazy. He doesn't mind, being my chalan when needed. So then our client John was telling, my brother Eric and my brother Eligio that, what's going on. Jose is ripping off Don Robert, blah, blah, blah. And Eric and Leo told John, look, John, Jose's not ripping him off. He pays him. We always pay Don Robert because he's a good worker. But we've gone through this situation with them already. His sons are ripoffs, and his sons are ripoffs, and they always take his money. So it's not Jose's fault, sir. But we'll take care of it. And sure enough, John told me, hey, Jose, I'm sorry to have doubt you, but you gotta see it from my point of view. And I told him, sir, I see it from your point of view, and I totally understand. But his sons, they rip up his money, they take his money, and he doesn't say anything. So that other guy, his name is Martin, okay? El otro choclito se llama Martin, if you guys run into him, don't lend him any money, he's a ripoff. So anyways, Martin did this. He started a lawsuit with our client, and he had his dad's hours written down. Okay, he worked this much. Okay, blah blah blah. Okay, blah 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 blah. Okay, that's why por eso le dicen el abogado del diablo, porque ese vato es tan chingón para hablar que es el abogado del diablo, pero para trabajar allí sí no te lo recomiendo para nada. He's a lazy ass fuck. So anyways, this vato threatened our client, le dijo al patrón que si no le pagaba el dinero ese, que él iba a ir ahí al estado y que le iba a poner un lien on his house, okay? And that's very bad for me, because I'm the contractor. So, my workers are going around me to do this kind of shit, and that's how shady these vatos are, okay? Son bien trácalas. Anyways, so I told my client, this is not chisme, esto es verdad, okay? No es chisme tú, el pato. Si no te gusta, vete para otro lado. So anyways, I told our client, John, the fireman, very tall man, he's big like that. I told him, look, sir, please don't worry about it. I'm gonna adjust this. I'll pay him his money, whatever, and he's okay, Jose, I trust you. I'm sorry I doubted you, but, I have an idea, Jose. I have an idea. What do you think of this? And he started telling me, right? He told me, look, Jose, if this guy Martin, if he's ripping off his dad, like you're saying, that is very dishonest. I hate people like that. Let me do something about it. And then I'm like, well, sir, what are you thinking of? And he told me, look, Jose, when I was a fireman, I saved a lot of people's lives. But there was this one person, one time this was in Vallejo, okay? This was in Vallejo, because he lived in San Rosa, but he worked in the fire department in Vallejo. So he told me, look, one time many years ago, I went into a burning building, a 2-story, multi-story building in Vallejo. The whole building was on fire, and there was a big biker there. And he was telling me that his wife stuck up in their apartment, and he was telling me, please save her, please. So, the fireman's job is to save people. So this fireman, his name is John, he went into that burning building, okay, multi-story building. He went into that building, risked his life, and he came out with that biker's wife in his arms, and she was barely alive, okay, barely alive. He dragged her out of there. He went down the ladders, carrying her, risking his life, right? And so when he got her all the way down, she was, they put oxygen on her to breathe on that. They did all the CPR stuff on her. Okay, a little bit longer, and that lady would have been dead. Okay, so this biker guy was he was so happy that he saved his wife's life. He told him, okay, he said, you know what, sir, I am so in debt with you. Please, if there's anything you ever need, whether it's legal or not, anything that you need, sir, please let me know. You know, thank you for saving my wife. You know, and John told me, look, Jose, I've never called on this favor because it's my job to save people's lives. But I have a good idea. And what do you think if I call my friend, the biker guy? Okay, we're not gonna give names on the biker guy, but okay. And my client John, he's like this tall, okay? And he was telling me, yeah, my biker guy, he's like this tall, Jose. He's a big man, okay? And I'm looking at my client like this, okay? He's this much taller than I am, and he's telling me that his friend's this much taller than he is. So imagine big monster guy, right? He's all, I think I'm gonna have a little. My friend the biker guy, and myself, we were talking because I talked to him about this, Jose, and he says that. He said that. See, Mama. Hang on a minute, you guys. I'm almost done. See, Mama. Okay, you guys. So, anyways, my client's biker guy is this much taller than him, and my client was this much taller than me. Okay, so imagine the size of this biker guy, big, humongous dude. So he told me, look, Jose, my biker friend, I talked to him about this, and you know what he told me? He told me that we should get this fucker. He's all, I'm thinking of calling Martin, and I'm gonna set up an appointment with him to give him that money that he's talking about that is owed to his dad, okay? But instead of me going to talk to him, my biker friend wants to go and talk to him to set him straight. And that's and you know, he's going to have a very serious talk with him because him ripping off his dad is not cool, Jose. And you know, my biker friend, he wants to help. What do you think? And I told him, look, what, sir? Honestly, sir, I'm not gonna say yes. I'm not gonna say no. I'm just gonna say I don't know anything about it. If you're obviously thinking of doing it already, so you know, I don't know anything about it. He's all, oh great, Jose, that sounds great, thank you. Well, this is what's gonna happen then. Look, I'm gonna call up Martin, and I'm gonna set up an appointment to meet with him, and I'm gonna tell him I'm gonna have his dad's money for him. And then when he shows up to the meeting, my biker friend is gonna have a little chit chat with him. And then I'm like I said, sir, I don't know anything about it. So you know, if you obviously have it planned already, I don't know anything about it. So he's all right, Jose. So I'll let you know what happened then, okay? And I'm like, okay, sir. So then that's what happened, you guys. Our client John called up this Vato Martin, okay? Called him up. He told him, hey, you know what, I have your dad's money and I would like to give it to you. Where could we meet so I can give it to you? Okay? Martin, he got happy right away. He's like, oh yeah, great. Why don't we meet right here at Popeyes? There's a Popeyes on Stony Point Road, and Sebastopol Road. There's a Popeyes there. The biker guy said, oh yeah, I know where that's at. I'll meet you there. What are you going to be driving? He asked him. Well, I'm going to be driving a little red car. That was Don Robert's car. That was his car. His sons, they don't buy cars. They just use all his stuff. All right. So, anyway, they did. And he told, what are you going to be driving? Oh, I'll pull up on a Harley Davidson motorcycle. Oh, yeah, I know what that is. He says, okay. So, anyways, these vato, right? He's waiting for him at the Popeyes, right there in front of his car, you know, all smiling. And this vato, es bien tranza. Okay, this guy can talk his way out of hell. Okay, he's a really good talker, but lazy as fuck. So, anyways, This vato's waiting for him, and the biker guy shows up in a big Harley. Parks right next to him, right? Gets out of the bike. And then he's big dude, right? And that Vato Martin, he's about my size. Okay, and that biker guy, he's like this. So, like that, right? So he's all, are you Martin? Yes, are you John? Yes. Hey, well, and he's all, well, right on, nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah. Because this guy, he's really talkative, right? So he told him, he's all, okay, so what are we going to do? What's going on? And he started right away, okay, well, check it out. I got all these hours right here. My dad didn't get paid this. My dad didn't get paid that, blah, 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 blah. Started doing all the math. Boom, 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 boom. Here it is. Okay, es esto. So, you sure? So, yes, I'm sure. Okay. So, the biker guy listened to him first, right? He listened to him first. Then, just like that, he went, you! And he started going like this, on his chest, like this, okay? You are a fucking disgrace. How could you be ripping off your dad? We know all about it. We know how you take his money. And I'm gonna tell you something. If I ever hear of you ripping off your dad again and coming up with his bogus lies, I'm gonna find you. And the biker guy said that the Martin guy was like this, because he had him against the car. And this big biker dude going like this to him on his chest, like, like, I'm gonna, and looking down at him and really mean. I mean, a big biker mean guy. You know what I mean? So this vato, he's just like this, like paralyzed, like he didn't know what to say anymore. You know what I mean? And then he told him, if you ever do this again, I'm gonna find you. And you understand me? And he's all like this, like said, yeah, you know what I mean? And so then, okay, so then he's like this, right? And he told him, do you understand? And then he's all right, if I ever see you or hear about this again, I'm gonna find you. Is that understood? Hello?
Estoy aquí en la casa donde quieren tener.
Ok, ya voy para allá.
Aquí en la casa vieja.
Ok, ya voy.
Alright.
Okay, bye. Okay, so he's all, I'll find you and I'll take care of you. And then he's all, okay. So then he got back on his bike. Took off, right? He took off. And so then the next day, my client John's telling me this story. You know, we were laughing our asses off and shit. And but see, what happened is that I paid that guy first before the biker guy went and took care of this. I got together with him and Eric, and I made a paper in Spanish and one in English saying, Jose Reynoso, Reynoso Stoneworks, here to whom this may concern, just to let you know that all of Roberto's hours working at this address for this many hours are paid in full. Okay, and it had the math done right there, hourly wage, hourly rate, blah, 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 blah. Everything's a total of this. And I showed it to him. I told him, look, Don, this is your hours. Look, we get here at the same time, so there's no way that you're gonna be working 50 hours, sir, when I'm only working 40, and we get here at the same time. So your son doing the math for you for your hours, he's ripping me off, okay? I mean, you only work 40 hours just like me. So how can you be working 50? And then he's all like, well, what? You know, you're working 40 hours like me, dude. You're working 40 hours like me. So I cannot be paying you 50. I'm gonna pay you these 50 hours because I want peace. I don't want no problems here with this client here, okay? If you don't accept this and sign it, he's not gonna be paying me. You know, today's payday. Hoy es día de paga. Si usted no firma este papel, que ya se le pagó todo su dinero, el cliente no me va a pagar a mí y yo no voy a poder pagarle a usted. ¿Ok? Y le hice una copia, aquí está esta en español, se la leí, mire, esto dice esto, bla, 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 bla. Y esta está en inglés también, mire, y aquí está, don Roberto. Yo he trabajado con usted más de 25 años. I've worked with you for more than 25 years, and we have never, ever, ever not paid you. You know this, you know this. You know, that's why we're good friends. So what's going on here? And he didn't want to sell out his son and tell him, well, he's ripping me out. He just said fine, okay, fine. So it's okay. Well, he signed the paper. I paid him his money right there on the spot. Boom, boom, boom. Here you go. Cuéntelo bien. Okay, he got his money. And then that's when the biker dude with my client John and his biker friend decided to take care of it one further step, and that's how the biker guy came into play. My friend John said that this guy, was begging him to let him do this because he saved his wife's life, and he told him that if he ever needed anything, whether it was legal or illegal, that he would do anything for him. And so this biker guy wanted to take care of this guy Martin because he was ripping off his dad. Okay, so I told him, look, sir, if you're gonna do it, you guys have your mind set up already. I don't want to know anything about it, but if you want to tell me the details, that's great. So that's what happened. These guys took care of this. They made up they set up the meeting and all that, telling him that they were gonna pay him the difference, on what I had paid him. This guy was saying that he was owed, like another 10, 15 hours when they was all bull. But these guys decided to say, oh yeah, we have your money. We're gonna give you your dad's money. So that guy, when it comes to money, he's like, right on. Oh yeah, I'll be right there. And so that's what happened. This biker guy put him in check. Imagine a big, tough biker guy looking down on you, going like this and really mean. Y luego este vato es culo de todos modos. He's just all talk. Pero huevón. Siéntate, mamá.
Hijo, gracias, muchas gracias.
So, these vatos, the few times that I did give them work, they backstabbed me by going around me and stuff. So, they did this to me like 3 times in the 30 years that I've known these vatos, okay? Son bien tracaleros, no se los recomiendo para nada. And so, el biker guy ese, he put that dude on check because he was ripping his dad off. And I don't care if he listens to me, he knows that I'm telling the truth, okay? I'll tell you a different story later on, but right now I'm already gonna be leaving. I just figured I'd tell you the story about the biker guy. So what do you guys think? For those of you guys that heard that story right now, tell me what you think about it, okay? And then I'm gonna be leaving. Okay. Le dio miedo que se les pareció Satanás. Te digo, mira, que lo tenía así en el biker guy y dice que estaba así, mira, no se podía mover.
Parecía que estaba electrocado, yo creo.
Y este vato ahí, y ese vato es bien verbo, le dicen al abuelo del diablo, échale lápiz. Okay. This trying to catch up in Jose's story. All right, Sylvia. Enjoy the story. Thanks for sharing, says Smoking Kettle. All right, thanks, Smoking Kettle. Saludos, tío. Bendiciones. Gracias, Darío Ruben. All right. Mar says, always do the right thing. God's watching. Laugh out loud. Right? Hey, man, and this story I just told you guys, this is a true story. I'm not lying. I'm not lying to you guys, okay? I wouldn't be telling you all these big lies in front of God. Okay, this happens to me. That's why I have all kinds of stories, because I've been doing this for about 30 years now, and I got all kinds of stories to tell you guys. But I figured I'd tell you guys this one today, a biker guy story. Chimo says, eres bueno para contar historias. Oh, gracias, Chimo. You say, was the biker like a Hell's Angel? Must have been, you know what I mean? I honestly did never met the biker guy, but my client John, he's like this much taller than I am, okay? And when he was describing his biker friend, he's like, oh yeah, my biker friend, he's way taller than I am. So I could imagine a big monster. Yeah, and my client, he was a firefighter. He saved the biker's guy's wife out of a burning building. So this vato, he wanted something to pay this guy back with. Okay, and so they became friends after he saved his wife's life. So this is one of those stories that they were talking about. They were talking about this vato ripping off his dad. So the biker guy wanted to do something about it. Obviously, he was a cool dude. You know what I mean? And so they decided to do that. And my client John said, "What do you think, Jose?" And I didn't want to say yes, sir, or no, sir. I told, look, sir, if you guys are gonna do it, you're obviously planning it already. I just don't want to have anything to do with it. But I was thinking, yeah, somebody needs to put this vato on check. And so the biker guy put this vato on check, and I got rid of them. I stopped. I never gave a work to Don Guarache no more, or his sons. I'm like, this is it. This is what broke the camel's back. I never want to have anything to do with these losers anymore. And he's a cool dude, don't get me wrong. Pero he lets his sons manipulate him. So Don Guarache, él es un buen albañil, un buen señor. Pero lo que pasa es que deja que sus hijos lo roben, lo manipulen y nos tracalien a los patrones. Okay? Yes, good story, says Mark.
Los gobiernos quieren mucho, pues.
Sí, nice story, says Luis. Gracias, Luis. You should never steal money from your family, especially you're from your dad. Yeah, well, these guys, that's what they do. And I know this because Don Guarache used to live at my house, okay? I used to rent him a room at my house for many years. And he worked with me, and I always paid him. When those vatos, what they do is they'll come to work, during the summertime when there's a lot of work here, they'll come from Mexico and work here. Once the season's over, they go back to Mexico. So cuando el tiempo que ellos están aquí, le quitan un chingo de dinero a su papá. They take a lot of money from their dad. They go to the casinos, and they'd rather go to the casino than work, okay? And they come and visit their dad, take off his money, as much money as they can, and then they leave. So every paycheck, when I would pay Don Guarache, I would pay him every Friday. Who would show up? His son Martin. Every time, never failed on payday. Every time he would show up there to my house and talk to him. He would talk to him for a little while. He'd bring him a little box of a cup of noodle soups. Oh, Dad, le traje estas sopitas, blah, 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 blah. Pero le quitaba el dinero. He'd bring him a cup of noodle soups, but he would take all his money. Y el don, pues, también pendejo, siempre would believe whatever he would tell him. Sí, pues, okay, so that's how, I know these people very well, so I'm not making stuff up, you guys. Okay? All right. How much did the 10 hours cost? Okay, well, 10 hours, imagine 10 hours, $25 an hour in those years. So that was about 10 hours at $25. That's what, like $250? No, it's more than that, right? Yeah, 250. Okay, I give them like 300, para no estar alegando. So these guys for last $250, you know what I mean? They cost all this drama. So I'm glad that biker guy put that Martin guy on check. So if you guys ever run into this vato, if he's blah, 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 just remember what I told you. He's going to ask you for money right away, and stay away from these people. A beat down for $250 left out. Well, the biker guy didn't beat him up though. He just scared the shit out of him. Okay, but if he would have like tried to do something, he would pound it on him right away. But I think scaring the shit out of him was a lot better than actually just beating him up. You know what I mean? So I like the fact that he scared him. He scared him, and he never said nothing to me about it or nothing like that. You know what I mean? But that's how I never gave work to El Don anymore, because I never wanted any problems with him. Plus, he's too old now. I didn't want to. He's already past retirement, so he can't even get a job anymore because he's too old. And in my kind of work, he could get hurt. So he's too old for me to hire him anymore. And so, anyways, you guys, that's the biker story. All right. I hope you guys liked it. Madre, yo ya me voy, madre. ¿Me puedes dar una bendición, algo aquí, por favor? Sí.
Y ahí,
Hey, check it out. You're just in time.
eso,
I was telling my friends here about the biker story, buddy.
Dios
My brother Leo here, he knows. I was telling them about the biker. Okay, yeah, but I was telling them about the biker thing. So, okay, you guys. So, anyways, my mom's gonna give me a quick blessing, and then I'm out of here. Okay, mom.
Empiece la cruz arriba, madre, no se le vaya a equivocar, estéle así. Después la gente la critica y usted piensa que
Ya
no
déjalo,
vale.
yo no lo hago con maldad, yo no.
Tú olvídate
ya
de eso,
estoy-
mano.
se me va.
Tú sabes lo que estás haciendo.
La bendición. Primero la de Dios y después de Dios la mía.
Okay.
La bendición de Dios Padre, de Dios Hijo y de Dios Espíritu Santo. Amén.
Thank you,
La
mom.
bendición de Dios Padre, de Dios Hijo, de Dios Espíritu Santo. Amén. Oh Jesús mío, líbranos del
Papá.
fuego del infierno.
Buenos días, ¿cómo estás?
Y, oh Jesús mío,
Ya hemos trabajado.
líbranos del fuego del infierno y especialmente a los más necesitados de tu misericordia infinita. Amén. En nombre del Padre, del Hijo y del Espíritu Santo. Amén. Y te da empatía aunque no creas.
Pues no le hace.
Okay, you guys.
Ya que
I'm gonna go to work now. Thank you very much. Thank you, Wonder Woman, for being so wonderful.
¿Pero qué no les platicas de la vez que me envenenaste?
Oh, yeah, huh?
Otra vez, ¿no? Otra vez les platicas la vez que tomé gasolina que me disteis.
All right, tomorrow, remind me, you guys, tomorrow morning, I'm gonna tell you a story. Una vez, envenené a mi hermano aquí. Pues, se lo voy a contar real quick. Cuando yo estaba chiquillo, yo era mecánico, right? Y una vez I was fixing some weed eaters, and my mom, she would make Kool-Aid for us, and these galones, right? My mom would make red Kool-Aid for us and put it in the refrigerator for us. Una vez, estaba mi papá trabajando con mi hermano Eligio aquí, en el caloronón, weed eating, en el summertime, un caloronón. Y mi papá y Eligio aquí, ellos llegaron a la casa para descansar a la hora del lonche, ¿verdad? Y les digo aquí la mera verdad, yo estaba usando gasolina para arreglar un weed eater que estaba arreglando. Y como lo estaba arreglando ahí, no sé cómo ni por qué, pero yo puse un galón de gasolina en el refrigerador que parecía igual que el Kool-Aid que hacía mi mamá, ¿ok? Y llegó mi papá y mi hermano aquí, en un calorón que estaban haciendo, mi mamá les hizo de comer y les trajo un vaso de Kool-Aid bien
¿Nomás a mí?
O nomás a él.
A mi padre le dio una cerveza y a mí me dio un vaso de gasolina.
Ey, a mi hermano le dejo un vaso de gasolina que yo puse en el refrigerador, ¿ok?
Sí es cierto eso, sí es cierto.
Sí, es cierto. So, este vato, como andaba bien cansado, agarró el vaso así, mira, sin pensar. Porque era gasolina. Y casi se murió, ¿verdad que sí?
Y luego mi mamá y mi hermano le hicieron así, que casi lo
No
tiramos.
es cierto, no es cierto.
Caifán, hijo. Cabo, este es adoptado, decía mi mamá, este es adoptado.
No, el que dice que eras adoptado eras tú.
Que según mi mamá es Gloria, dijo, este adoptado ya casi
No.
lo chingado ya.
Él es el que siempre decía que mi mamá no era su mamá, que su mamá de él era una señora que
No,
se
a mí
llamaba
me dijo mi
Gloria.
mamá que a mí una señora que se llama Gloria me regaló con ella y esta es mi madre adoptiva. Y eso es muy simple, cosa de aceptar, que lo acepten.
No,
No
él
me
se
dijo.
afrentaba de mí.
Él es el que se afrentaba de ella y
Yo no se afrentaba.
Estaba él de
siempre decía que él no era de mi mamá, que él era de Gloria. Ahora que
Yo quiero
aguante.
ser hijo de Gloria, decía. Pues vete con ella, le decía yo.
Ok, pero esa vez sí.
Vamos ya, vámonos ya, chingada ya.
Ya me voy, mo. Pero esa vez sí, yo casi lo enverbé.
Casi, pero no se te hizo.
Casi, pero no se me hizo, dice aquí. Gracias, madre, ya me voy, ma.
Ándale, vete.
Okay,
Bueno.
guys, thank you very much. I gotta go. See ya.
A ver si le quitan los montajes échale magia. A ver si se le quitan los montajes, porque ahorita está muy bueno el cerro, pero ahorita como 10, 15 minutos van a andar así dándolas allá.
Ajá.
Ah,
No me creas.
ten vergüenza, hijo.
Okay,
¿Cuál
ma.
vergüenza?